Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Tonight I'm doing Hazel Dickens. I'm going to start out with a beautiful nostalgic song she wrote called West Virginia, My Home. West Virginia, oh my home. West Virginia's where I belong. In the dead of the night, in the still and quiet, I slip away like a bird in flight, back to those hills, place that I call home. It's been years now since I left there, and this city life's about to get the best of me. I can't remember why I left so free, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to see. But I sure can remember where I come from. West Virginia, oh my home. West Virginia's where I come from. In the dead of the night, in the still and quiet, I slip away like a bird in flight, back to those hills, the place that I call home. Well, I paid the price for leaving, and this life I have's not the one I thought I'd find. Well, let me live, love, let me cry, and when I go, just let me die among the friends who remember when I'm gone. West Virginia, oh my home. West Virginia's where I belong. In the dead of the night, in the still and the quiet, I slip away like a bird in flight, back to those hills, the place where I call home. One more time. West Virginia, oh my home. West Virginia's where I belong. In the dead of the night, in the still and quiet, I slip away like a bird in flight, back to those hills, the place that I call home. Absolutely gorgeous song by the late Hazel Dickens. There she is. I was lucky enough to score this at the one and only copy at the Madison Public Library, and put it on hold and did the curbside pandemic pickup. So Working Girl Blues came out in 2008, just a few years before she died, and it includes 40 of her songs with notes and a lengthy introduction by Bill Malone, a good friend and friend of the music, and he had interviewed her and been friends with her for a long time, and appreciated her music. He also wrote a whole book about Mike Seeger, one of her bandmates, Pete Seeger's half-brother, the New Lost City Ramblers. The book is called Music from the True Vine. So lots of great stuff from Bill Malone, and I learned a lot about Hazel from this book. She grew up in the coal country of West Virginia, way down south, right on the border with Virginia, but also not far from Tennessee and from Kentucky and Bloody Harlan and all that. And you may remember she appeared in both Harlan County, USA, that won the Academy Award, documentary by Barbara Koppel, and then of course John Sayles' Matawan, fantastic movie. She actually sang in it and actually played a cameo role too, so kind of cool. All right, this next one is all about coal country and the struggles of the working folk. In Harlan County, she sang a cappella a beautiful song she wrote in honor of her older brother Thurman, who died of black lung. I'm not going to do that one, but I'm going to do another one about the internal struggles of the United Mine Workers when there was corrupt union bosses, in this case Tony Boyle, who gets a mention in the song and actually eventually went to jail for what happened in this song. So this is what Hazel Dickens called cold-blooded murder, or it's sometimes referred to as the Yablonsky murder. It happened in, I believe, New Year's Eve, 1969. Clarksville, Pennsylvania's not too far from here. Coal miners were hoping for a brighter new year. But for Jock Yablonsky, his daughter and wife, the New Year's brought an ending to their precious lives. And it's cold-blooded murder, friends, I'm talking about. Who's gonna stand up and who's gonna fight? We got to clean up that union, put it on solid ground, and get rid of that dirty trash, keeps a working man down. The death bells were ringing as Jock made his plans to save the UMW for the honest working man. So he ran against Tony Boyle and all his dirty clan. But Tony hired a hitman, and that was Jock's fatal end. And it's cold-blooded murder, friends, I'm talking about. Who's gonna stand up and who's gonna fight? Got to clean up that union, put it on solid ground, and get rid of that dirty trash, keeps a working man down. Well, Jock Yablonsky was a coal miner's friend. He fought for the rights of the working man. He begged the law to protect him, but they turned him down. Now Jock, his wife and daughter, all lay beneath the ground. And it's, sing it with me, cold-blooded murder, friends, I'm talking about. Who's gonna stand up and who's gonna fight? Got to clean up that union, put it on solid ground, and get rid of that dirty trash, keeps a working man down. Oh Lord, the poor miner, will his fight never end? They'll abuse him, even murder him, to further their plans. Oh, where is his victory? How will it stand? It'll stand when poor working folk all join hands. And it's cold-blooded murder, friends, I'm talking about. Who's gonna stand up and who's gonna fight? Got to clean up that union, put it on solid ground, and get rid of that dirty trash, keeps a working man down. She wrote that the day after the news broke about the terrible triple murder. The hitman hired by the corrupt union boss Tony Boyle, who had won re-election against Jock Yablonsky and then decided to get rid of him. It was 2 more years. It wasn't until 1972 that the Miners for a Democratic Union eventually took over and cleaned things up. It was bad enough that they were getting black lung and getting stiffed by the mine owners, but to have the union steal their money and sell sell them down the river was even worse. So great song by a great singer-songwriter, great person, Hazel Dickens. So this last one I'm going to do, Hazel and Alice was a famous duo, pioneering women in bluegrass, part of the folk scene and the bluegrass scene in Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So it's funny because there's a little dispute about the birth year of Hazel. A lot of things like Wikipedia and other places say 1925. Bill Malone and the New York Times say 1935, which makes much more sense because when I read in the biography, it talks about her. She was 16 years old when she left the coal country and moved to the city. She didn't last long. She came back home, but then a few years later went there and then ended up connecting up with musicians and finally finding a home there. So she wrote this song before she was able to make a living full-time doing music, and she was still working in a retail business, and she wrote Workin' Girl Blues, which of course is the name of this book. So before I do this last song, I looked up today to see exactly where Princeton County is in Bluefield and the border region there between West Virginia and Virginia, coal country where Hazel was from. She had 10 brothers and sisters. Almost all of them worked in the mines, including her brothers-in-law and her male siblings, and at least one of them unfortunately died of black lung. She fought for working people. She was a pioneering woman in a male-dominated field, and she sang songs that are just full of truth and honesty and love for people and the place she was from. So I got to go there, not too far away. In 1987, while I was at the University of Michigan, I did a project that was called the Appalachian Semester, and we spent the whole time learning about migration from the Appalachian area up to where southeastern Michigan, around the not too far from where I grew up, and lots of folks that came up from Kentucky and West Virginia and Tennessee to work in the during the war, and then a lot of them stayed and worked in the auto plants and other things. So we went down to West Virginia and spent 3 weeks there, and we were in Rodell, which it turns out is just the next county up from where Hazel was from. And my favorite memory there was going to a place called Coal City, and they had a barber shop there, and I think it was on a Wednesday night. If you showed up, there was a 2-chair barber shop. It was kind of long and narrow, and you went in, and it was just packed wall to wall with people. Both of the barbers were musicians. I believe one played fiddle, one played guitar, and they had a bluegrass session there, and we got to go and join in, and it felt like everything I ever wanted. So yeah. All right, so I have one more song, Working Girl Blues, and hope you sing it with me. So I got the early Monday morning working blues. I put on my ragged, worn out working shoes. Well, the weekend was too short, but I can't choose. When the Lord made the working girl, He made the blues. I'm tired of working my life away, giving somebody else all my pay, while they get rich on the profits that I lose, leaving me here with the working girl blues. Adiole, working girl blues, and I can't even afford a new pair of shoes. Well, they can live on any old penthouse they choose, and all that I've got is a working girl blues. My boss says a raise is due most any day, but I wonder, will my hair be all turned gray before he turns that dollar loose and I get my dues, and I lose a little of these working girl blues. I'm tired of working my life away, giving somebody else all my pay, while they get rich on the profits that I lose, leaving me here with the working girl blues. Yada-yada-lo, working girl blues, and I can't even afford a new pair of shoes, while they can live in any old penthouse they choose, and all that I've got is a working girl blues, and all that I've got is a working girl blues. Hazel Dickens. What a wonderful person, what a wonderful songwriter, and we have her songs to remember her by. So, yeah, She lived from 1935 to 2011, and lots of other great songs that she did as well. I highly recommend this book. I just actually ordered a copy from Room on One's Own, so that I don't have to have the library one. All right, coming up next, it's Doc Watson. That'll be, let's see, on Friday night. Great picker, singer, traditional musician from North Carolina. I've got 3 songs from him. I'm going to do Deep River Blues, the Jimmy Driftwood song that was a big hit for him, the Tennessee Stud, and then going to finish with a lovely song that Alison Krauss and Robert Plant did on Raising Sand. It was a song that Doc and his wife Rosa wrote together called Your Long Journey. So hope you can join me. Love you all. Take care. Thanks for listening.